Okay, let's jump right into this. Welcome to this explainer on information systems. Today, we're going to uncover the invisible engine of modern business. We're going to explore exactly how raw, seemingly random data is transformed into the highly actionable knowledge that powers today's massive corporate empires. Seriously, it's a fascinating journey, taking us all the way from a microscopic, single data point right up to high-level corporate strategy. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the information age we operate in, let's look at a few numbers. Consider the blockbuster movie Avatar. It took over 4 years to make and cost a staggering $450 million.
Or, hey, how about this surprising little piece of trivia? Joanne Angelina Germanotta. Well, that's actually the real legal name of global pop superstar Lady Gaga.
And shifting over to the high-stakes realm of business and advertising, a mere 30-second ad slot during the Super Bowl costs an unbelievable $2.6 million.
Now, you might be wondering, why am I throwing these random tidbits at you? Well, because they are facts. They're literally the atomic building blocks of our digital era. Every massive business empire relies on the rigorous validation of these individual events and objects. Without them, the modern economy absolutely grinds to a halt.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The computing landscape, 2. The information age, 3. The data explosion, 4. From data to knowledge, and finally 5. Systems thinking in MIS. Let's get started.
Section 1. The computing landscape, mapping the digital world. Let's start wide. We need to establish exactly where information systems actually sits within the sprawling universe of computing. If we look at the 2020 Computing Curricula Series, which maps out global computing education, we see that information systems, or IS, is just one specialized branch here. It sits right alongside other massive fields like computer science, software engineering, and emerging areas like data science. So it's a distinct discipline within a much larger ecosystem.
But here's the really fascinating part. Notice how information systems acts as a practical bridge. It stretches beyond just foundational computing tech to actually encompass organizational needs. It's the sweet spot where digital transformation literally meets human and business activity. It isn't just about building the tech, it's about applying it to achieve very real organizational goals.
Section 2. The information age, living in a sea of facts.
That bridge to organizational needs, it is more important today than at any point in human history, mainly because we are currently living in what's formerly known as the information age. This is our present reality, an era where absolutely infinite quantities of facts are widely available to anyone who can simply use a computer. We are swimming in a sea of facts, and this unprecedented availability creates entirely new business competitions, but also massive new challenges. I mean, how do you possibly make sense of it all?
Section 3. The data explosion, IoT, and machines talking.
So where are all these infinite facts actually coming from? Well, a massive portion is completely machine-generated. Specifically, it's coming from the Internet of Things, or IoT, and machine-to-machine, or M2M networks. In the IoT world, interconnected devices are constantly collecting and sharing data without any human intervention whatsoever. M2M takes this even further, devices connecting directly to other devices. Think about your smart thermostat quietly talking to your local power grid. That is machines communicating and generating endless streams of data completely behind the scenes.
Now, all this machine and human activity creates a literal data explosion. But not all data is created equal. It cleanly divides into two categories. Over on the left, we have highly organized, structured data. Think sensor data, accounting records, or point-of-sale logs. The kind of stuff that fits perfectly into a spreadsheet. But on the right, we have messy, unstructured data. This is your satellite images, videos, text messages, and social media posts. Wrangling this dual avalanche of structured and unstructured data is the primary challenge of information systems.
Section 4. From data to knowledge, refining the raw material.
Because simply having a bunch of data just isn't enough, organizations have to refine this raw material through what is essentially an evolutionary intellectual chain. The chain starts right at the bottom with raw data. By definition, data consists of raw, unrefined facts, figures, and events. On its own, a single data point, like a random number in a spreadsheet, completely lacks the necessary context to drive a business forward.
Let's move to the next level and see how this builds. Through information systems, that raw data is processed into information. Information is simply data that has been placed into a specific context. Once we capture, store, and process that data to support decision-making, it transforms. It goes from being a random number into, say, a sales figure for a specific region. Suddenly, it becomes useful.
As we climb higher up the ladder, this information is analyzed collectively to form business intelligence. This is advanced intelligence that goes way beyond simple reporting. It looks at the bigger picture, patterns, trends, and relationships. It equips decision makers with the intellectual resources to understand exactly why things are happening in the market.
Finally, at the absolute top, we hit knowledge. But notice how we get there. It absolutely requires humans. Human knowledge workers interpret this business intelligence using their unique experience and skills, transforming it into true knowledge. This creates the permanent intellectual capital of the company. It proves that even with all this tech, human insight is still the master key.
And this perfectly illustrates why all of this matters so much. This precise evolution, from raw data all the way up to human-driven knowledge, is exactly how giants like Amazon, Netflix, and Zappos conquered their industries. Think about it. Amazon's primary focus was selling books, not just building technology. Netflix focused on streaming content. Zappos focused on selling shoes. Fundamentally, they are retail and media businesses. But they achieved absolute market dominance because they brilliantly weaponized information. They used technology to understand their customers better than anyone else on the planet.
Section 5. Systems Thinking and MIS. Tying it all together.
So, how do these massive companies actually pull this off on a day-to-day basis? Well, the invisible engine executing this strategy is known as Management Information Systems, or MIS. As the quote here notes, MIS is a tool that is most valuable when it leverages the talents of people who know how to use and manage it effectively. The crucial takeaway: MIS isn't just a piece of software you buy off a shelf. It's a vital, living business function, just like accounting or HR, that relies heavily on human talent, communication, and leadership to actually succeed.
Let's look at this in action. Through systems thinking, an MIS takes a single event, let's say a customer places an order, and seamlessly moves that information across the entire company. Step 1, sales registers the order. Step 2, that data instantly flows to order fulfillment so they can pick the item. Step 3, it moves to shipping to print the label. Step 4, billing processes the payment. And Step 5, customer service has full visibility in case the customer calls. Without systems thinking, these 5 departments are disconnected silos. With MIS, they become a single, flawless, lightning-fast execution engine.
We have covered a lot of ground today. Now that you understand how a simple, raw fact is generated, processed, and transformed into the strategic lifeblood of modern organizations, you've got a really powerful framework at your disposal. The information age is here, and the data explosion, it's only getting bigger. So I want to leave you with this question. How will you harness information systems and systems thinking to shape the future and build the next great business empire? Thanks for watching this explainer, and keep exploring the incredible world of information.